So I think I'm going to knock the idea on the head of doing like multiple channels, because it's just a ball ache managing like 4 or 5 channels, which I was trying to do. So I'm just going to have the Magic the Gathering channel, the main channel that does the video essay stuff, and then this one. So we're going to talk about some crypto stuff today, but we do mostly YouTube, gaming discussions and playing games and reviewing games and things, or at least I'm going to want to be getting back to doing that. We're talking today about Gala games, and there's some fucking repeat characters here from, if you're a connoisseur of the Kira lore, over the years of covering crypto games, because every person in this, at least the influencer side, is somebody I've had some kind of discussion with or about or some back and forth with, just because I recognized the images of their profile pictures. So this is about Gala games, and this is obviously, Gala games is one of the biggest, I guess, crypto gaming platforms. They have the Gala token, which is apparently worth like a billion or some billions, fully diluted valuation, which is basically just what prices it sold at recently times by the supply. It's a fucking useless, mostly shit metric that people parade around when it's high and say it doesn't really matter when it's low. But basically, notionally, if you could sell all the tokens right now at the price that it's at, it'd be worth like $1 billion something dollars or whatever. I'm not going to look up what it is right now. We're just going to use this. And Gala Games is shit. A lot of these people have got like contracts with them and their partners, and they get paid to shill this shit. But Gala Games is garbage. None of their games have took off. They're one of the first in crypto gaming, blockchain gaming, whatever we're going to call it, that have actually released games. And you'll never hear anybody talking about them. You'll never hear anybody playing them or see anybody playing them, because they're shit. They're like mobile games, and they're like 15 years behind what people would have played. And even then, 15 years ago, you could have been playing some bangers. I'm not even going to try and remember what games were out 15 years ago. But games 15 years ago were fucking great, right? There was loads of amazing games. But they're making shit games from 15 years ago. Like, tech-wise, they look bad. And then obviously we're talking about here, the president of blockchain at Gala, Bitbender Brink, resigns to become an unpaid advisor for Powered by Gala to form LFG on Gala chain. I'm not going to read this. And KG Jan posted this, who's a funny guy who I've interacted with before, who posts just all crypto content, and all of his thumbnails has him sticking his tongue out like he's fucking on OnlyFans or something. But what we are going to read is a crypto person, never seen this guy in my life, but I'm going to give him some credit here, has a great take on Gala Games, which mirrors a lot of it's interesting to see crypto people mirror a lot of the things that I've been saying, and obviously a lot of the gaming community has been saying for a whole long time. So he says, what a joke that Go Gala Games still has 1.5 billion FDB, fully diluted valuation market cap. Gala Games is the prime example of zombie bullshit gaming ecosystems that have delivered a big fat zero for Web3 gaming as a whole. All hype, no substance. This is just true. Again, you will see nobody playing their games. Nobody's talking about their games. Nobody's come into one of your gaming circles and said, have you played that new fucking Gala Games game? Not happened, has it? You know why? Because nobody even knows they exist, because it's just garbage, and they've had a long time to be doing it. Doing nothing, building nothing, taking everything. They have been building stuff. They're just shit. They're just shit games. In the 3 years this ecosystem has been around, they've not pushed forward Web3 gaming space 1 single millimeter, but rather pulled the entire Web3 gaming space back several meters. Now, I'm going to tell you a couple reasons why this is. It's because crypto people do everything backwards, and they're wrong, and they don't understand what they're even trying to do. Well, I guess they do. They understand that they're trying to make money. And as we know, trying to make money doesn't necessarily make good art. And you might go, oh, Kira, you're being a bit fucking, you're swirling, some scotch around in your scotch glass, talking about video games as art. They are. And a really good video game is very difficult to make. And typically, outside of a few companies who are the really big AAA companies, they don't even hit when they have all the experience, all the money, all the tenure, all the good IPs, they still make shit games. And those teams, people like Ubisoft, people like Blizzard, people like Activision, they've been making games for fucking decades, and they still make shit games. Okay, I just want to say I was listening to this back as I was editing, and I mean, they don't just make shit games, they can make shit games. Obviously, sometimes they release games and they're just bad, and they don't all hit, right? That's just what I mean by this. And they have everything you don't have. And obviously, when you look at like who's making good games with very little budget and very little experience, it's indie games, right? And what do indie games have, and indie game creators, that crypto people don't? Passion for what they're doing, and doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it because they love it. It's their baby, it's their idea, and they're not trying to make a quick buck. What crypto people are doing, by and large, and I don't think this is controversial to say, I think most crypto people would agree if they wasn't lying to themselves or their audience, they're trying to make money. They don't care about the product. In fact, the product is oftentimes a hindrance to what they're trying to do, because once the product is revealed, it goes back to exactly what I've said for basically forever when you talk about like Kickstarter games. They always raise the most money when it's just an idea, right? When it's just a brief trailer, you know, a concept trailer or some words on paper or some guy talking about his passion and blah, blah, blah. And it's because that's when things are like, you can never contend with somebody's imagination. Once it goes in their head and they sit and create it, that's like, whatever you deliver, it's almost never going to live up to that. It's why reading's so good, because it's your brain. It's what you like. As long as the words resonate, as long as it makes sense, the thing that you're building in your brain, assisted by the hopefully good writer, is always going to be better 9 times out of 10 than what somebody else's brain can make, because they're not in your head. And it's the same thing with crypto, only obviously a different mechanism. And that is these people saying, how can we make loads of fucking money? And then they work backwards from there. We'll make a, crypto gaming thing, and this is going to be our game. And 9 times out of 10, the wording and what they're presenting and saying they're going to do is fucking impossible. It's just not been done in traditional gaming by experts in decades, or they're aiming for like, this thing could work if it was the most popular game ever made, if it was a World of Warcraft in Wrath of Lich King, if it was a League of Legends in fucking 2014, but it's not going to be that, is it? Like, if your plan hinges on it's just going to be the best thing ever, you're fucking delusional, and I'd say you're probably grifting. You're either like mentally ill or you're grifting, and you're a liar. It's one of those two things, basically. So that's why they've not moved anything forward, because they're working backwards from trying to make money, and obviously that's just not how you make a good product in general. Especially when it's something that's like, what are you even giving to people here? What's the value proposition? You're giving people a worse game with stuff in it that they don't like. So obviously it goes on, the story of Gala Games is when you have liquidated hundreds of millions, maybe $1 billion USD in team tokens as a cash out onto the market, on the guise of building a massive gaming chain that will deliver an ecosystem of fun crypto-powered games, but instead deliver absolutely nothing of substance. Again, you understand why I feel the way I do on it. What do we have 3 years in by these guys? No workable chain, no sticky partners. I'm sure they've been getting fucking sticky with all the money they've made. No playable games. I'm fairly sure there are like playable Gala games. Maybe I'm wrong, but the things that I've seen would suggest people have played them. They look like garbage. So are you really actually playing anything other than yourself, I guess? No players, true. No customers, true. Dozens of ecosystem games with about a dozen active daily players each day playing that shit. Oh, but you combine to the Gala overpriced nodes to get your cut of Gala token to dump onto the market. What's the token utility of Gala? Checks notes, nothing. Well, it never is it? 9 times out of 10 in crypto, what is the utility of the thing you're doing? Unless it's decentralized finance. Not a fucking whole bunch, to be honest. And even then, you obviously have issues in that sector and bad actors in that sector and risks and inherent issues. But in terms of gaming, again, I've said for ages, and I'll fucking go to the grave with this one. You crypto people are fucking stupid in general. By and large, the people running these projects, the people trying to sell, like the influencers and stuff, trying to sell these concepts to people, you guys just don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And if even one of you had like the base level of understanding to talk to the people who are going to be your target audience, there's like slam dunks here that you could sell to a traditional gaming audience without all the extra shit that's just built on lies and stuff that we know is impossible and stuff nobody cares about. If you were selling people on like just the aspect of, oh, we're building a game that's, you know, like Counter-Strike, and you know how the skins you trade in Counter-Strike have got a value, and you trade them on the Steam marketplace, but then the money's in the Steam system, and technically based on TOS you're not supposed to sell them for real money. Well, we're just letting you, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but you know, the game's there. There's no other bullshit. We're not selling anything day one or fucking years in advance like all these crypto projects do, but we're just building a game, and we're gamers and we love games, and here it is, and it gets popular, and then you make your money, you know. But instead, or something that's even better, you're selling licenses for video games that are tradable, because the problem we have in gaming right now is something nobody really talks about all that much. It's that once everything's gone digital, you own nothing. It's the classic meme, right? You own nothing and you'll be happy. Once you've stopped having physical media, your licenses on Steam, you don't own those. You don't own your Steam account. You rent that shit. Until laws change, which hopefully they do, you die, your shit's gone. We've just seen it. You can't, you know, gift your Steam account to somebody. You can technically give them the details, but if it ever gets locked for any reason, needs a identity verification, that shit's gone. You spent thousands on it. It's just gone. Your League of Legends account, your WoW account, whatever it's going to be, any game you buy that's digital, you're renting a license to something. They can take it away whenever they want for any reason. That you have no rights. You own nothing. So obviously, if you built an ecosystem whereby you had a game license and it was a token, you know, fucking hate to use that dreaded term, and you could, you know, trade it to people, you could sell it to people, and the developers earn money from the transaction fees. That's a legitimate use case that you don't need blockchain for. Obviously, you'd be using that as like the hook to get funding or whatever, because obviously new tech, new buzzwords and stuff gets people money. You could just use databases for this, because essentially that's what we're talking about. But obviously this is a use case that would be, I'd imagine, accepted by gamers. The people this wouldn't be good for is obviously the big AAA companies who have made it their fucking mission in life to phase out physical media, but still charge you more money for stuff that costs them less to produce. You know, does it cost more to print a disc and distribution and all that stuff for a physical product, or does it cost more to, you know, have a CD key they auto-generate and send to you, but they're the same price, right? And why does a console with a disk drive that probably costs like $5 to put into a console, why are they selling you a cheaper version, having more units of the diskless version when there's an issue with supply? It's because obviously they don't want you to be able to trade physical media. They don't want you to be able to sell games or give a friend the game. Say, oh, I've finished with this now. Do you want to play it? They don't want that. They want them to buy the game. They want you not to be able to sell the game. Like, it's not good for them. But if this is what we did as consumers, it would be good. It would be good for us. And fuck their bottom line. You know, they earn money in different ways. But obviously that's not a thing I've seen anybody mention whatsoever. And that's something that could be a legit use case. But obviously these crypto people are just, they don't know what the problems are, because they're not in there. You know, they're not one of us, I guess. They not like us. So the only utility here is selling Gala to the poor fools buying it on secondary, only because the fake FTV has pushed this gaming ecosystem far enough into the spotlight. It reaches those YouTube and crypto Twitter influencer shill lists that spew it out as one of the buy this to get exposure to Web3 gaming coins. Yeah, funny you quote replying to in this one. Let these extractors like Bitbender Brink and his friends who came into this space to take, get the fuck out of here with their tail between their legs. unpaid advisor is right. You certainly deserve nothing. The only advice you can give is to grifters on how to grift. You've squandered away every advantage Gala Games had, billions in market cap, and what have you actually built? A pile of hot, smelly air is what I'd pay you to get the fuck out of our space, you grifter. This could be written to most crypto people, to be honest. Gala deserves to die, and the founders are grifters, posing as builders. Let's have real gaming ecosystems powered by real builders, trying to do right by community. Come in here and build products and games that bring the gaming space forward, not backward. Yeah. But who's going to do it, right? Because you can't trust AAA Gaming to do it because they're already fucking... We've got all our problems with those. You can't trust them as far as you can throw them, and you can't because they're a company. So they're not going to do it, and they have the money to. The crypto people are not going to do it because they're all fucking greedy, lying, grifting fucking cheaters. So who does it? You know, I just don't see the end, right? A VC is going to do it? No, they just want the money. I don't see how any of this happens. I've not seen a crypto game yet where I've been like, oh yeah, this is both giving something that we need and better than what we have as an actual product, because it has to be the game first. And the problem is most of these things, the ones that get big are the ones that I've said, they're like the Kickstarter projects. They're like they're selling something to you, they're crowdfunding. How can we make this sound the best thing ever that we probably know we can't even deliver so that we can get loads of money? And obviously we've seen that if you followed my channel, if you followed Kickstarter and MMOs, we've seen that every time somebody crowdfunds an MMO, other than like Albion Online, which wasn't even a Kickstarter, and they had millions already and they built most of a game before selling anything. Pretty much every time somebody starts early on and they sell you on something that's difficult to make, like a fucking successful video game with extra tech and extra monetization added on in this case, it's just bullshit. So yeah, just thought it was interesting. Had this saved, so figured I might as well record a video while I'm up and doing them. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.